Are you feeling stressed these days? Stress has become pervasive, reaching unprecedented levels over the past few years, significantly impacting more women than men. On today's show, I'll explore how chronic stress can lead to hormonal imbalance, along with 4 techniques to help you de-stress. So, friend, if you're ready to let go of the cares of life that are weighing you down in exchange for peace in mind, body, and spirit, then grab a notebook and pen and let's dive in. Greetings to you, my friend. It's Rekishia McMillan here. Welcome to the Integrative Medicine for Energy and Health podcast. I am so glad that you're here for a number of reasons. First of all, I believe that this will be one of your favorite go-to health podcasts because it provides impactful health tips in a short amount of time. And secondly, I believe that the insight provided will help you to boost your energy levels, balance hormones, or achieve a healthy weight. And finally, I believe it will help you to become a healthier person that glorifies God, blesses you, your family, and your community. Welcome to this week's episode that I am so excited to introduce to you. But first, if you're a first-time listener to the Integrative Medicine for Energy and Health podcast, welcome. And if you're a regular, thank you so much for joining me once again. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss an opportunity to listen in on all of the latest episodes and to achieve better health. Many of our topics focus on helping you to navigate the unpredictable ups and downs associated with perimenopause or menopause. Today's topic is the toll of chronic stress on women in menopause. And I'm going to share how chronic stress disrupts hormonal balance during menopause, along with 4 powerful techniques to help you de-stress and regain balance and vitality. Now, with that being said, let's get into our show. We are living in a time where stress is at an all-time high. Can you feel it? The past 4 years have been pivotal. The pandemic has particularly impacted women who face higher stress levels than men. And as women, we were created to be multitaskers. More often, we are caregivers for our children, aging parents, or loved ones. We have careers, there's marriage, community outreach, or even the ministries that you have been given. Just to give you an idea, here are some statistics on stress and women. In 2023, 53% of adult women in the U.S. reported frequently feeling stressed in their daily lives compared to 45% of men. According to the American Psychology Association 2023 Stress in America survey, women also reported higher average stress levels than men, 5.3 versus 4.8 on a scale of 10. When it comes to stressors, women are more likely than men to cite family responsibilities at 58% versus 52%, and relationships at 49% versus 44%, and money woes at 50% versus 44% as key stressors in their lives. So as we can see, there are so many things that are coming against us that are causing stressful situations. So what is the stress hormone imbalance connection? Well, when we're stressed, our cortisol levels become elevated. And cortisol is a hormone produced by our adrenal glands, and these are located on the top of your kidneys. And it plays a role in your body's response to stress, helping you to regulate your body's energy, your metabolism, reducing inflammation, and controlling your sleep-wake cycle. And cortisol levels typically fluctuate throughout the day, peaking in the morning and gradually decreasing by the evening. And high levels of cortisol over a long period of time can lead to health issues such as weight gain, high blood pressure, fatigue, mood swings, sleep disturbances, and a weakened immune system. And these hormonal imbalances can feed back into the cycle of stress, which creates a challenging loop to break within the body. And so the goal is to break that loop and to reduce your cortisol levels by reducing the stress that's in your life. And so in order to manage chronic stress and its impact on your hormone levels during menopause, a holistic approach needs to be taken that encompasses our physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. And so I want to share 4 strategies that are going to help you to de-stress and get out of that state of that chronic cycle of stress to help lower your cortisol levels. And these are some of the things that I practice and that I share with the women that I work with. The first thing that I did is that I began practicing the Sabbath. Now, many times when people hear about the Sabbath, they think that that's an Old Testament principle. However, when God instituted it in the Old Testament, it has so many beneficial aspects of it that we can still apply it to our lives today. And the Sabbath was a time that God created for the purpose for us to pull away from all of the busyness in our minds, our body, our soul, and even our spirit to bring us to that place of quiet. And according to the Bible, God created the Sabbath so that we could rest. He did this after he completed creation. He also provided the Sabbath to bless humanity as a delight. And 2 scriptures that I'll read come from Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. And it says, "And on the 7th day, God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all of his work that he had done. So God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it God rested from all of his work that he had done in creation." And Isaiah 58, verse 13, says that the Sabbath day is intended to be a delight for humanity. And so reflecting on these scriptures, I remember when my stress levels were at an all-time high, so much so that I found myself in the ER because my hormone levels were so imbalanced. And after I took time to recover, I began to study the Sabbath and made it a regular practice in my life, which I outline in my book, Rock Your World Naturally: 7 Divine Keys to Unlock Extraordinary Health. And I was intentional about not running around, trying to do all the things, checking emails, running here, there, and everywhere. And when I did this, it helped me to reset and refocus. It really kept me grounded, and to not only keep me grounded, but to really prepare for the week ahead with less stress in my life. And some of the things that I do on my Sabbath time is that I incorporate spiritual practices that may include my Bible study, scripture meditation, prayer, or attending church. And I always say that everyone has to take an assessment of where they're at in their individual life. And even if you can't take one full day, practice what I like to call Sabbath moments, meaning that you're carving out an hour or two, a couple of days out of the week to practice your spiritual disciplines or get out in nature or just take that time just to simply rest and reset. It will do wonders for you. The second thing that I had to do was set healthy boundaries. Yes, the boundaries. And learning to set healthy boundaries is vital for managing stress. And this includes recognizing your personal limits and knowing that it is okay to say no to unnecessary obligations and prioritizing self-care. Because self-care is the highest form of self-love. Jesus said that we are to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And if we're not implementing and practicing that self-care and that self-love, we're not going to be able to bring the best of who we are into our lives as well as into the lives of others. And so setting boundaries helps to prevent burnout. It ensures that you're meeting your personal needs. And communicating these boundaries effectively with your family and your friends and colleagues, this is crucial for maintaining balance. Because sometimes as women, we tend to take care of everyone and everything else, and we put our needs last. But I want to encourage you, even as you're listening to this, to think about how you can begin implementing healthy boundaries in your lifestyle. And so a simple way to do this is if you have a friend, for instance, that frequently stops by your house unannounced and it's disrupting your personal time or it's making you feel uncomfortable, knowing that you have to have a healthy boundary conversation that is respectful with your friend so that you can address the issue. It could be as simple as saying something like, whatever your friend's name is, I really value our friendship and I enjoy spending time with you. However, I need to set a boundary about visits. I prefer if you call or you text me before coming over to make sure it's a good time. This way, I can give you my full attention when we hang out. I hope you understand. And so this is an example of how you can clearly communicate your needs while showing your appreciation for the friendship, but it also helps your friend to understand your preferences and your respect and your respects, both for your time and theirs. The third thing that I did was engage in creative expression. Engaging in creative activities like painting, drawing, writing, or music, these can be very therapeutic and reduce stress. Now, for me, I'm a writer. I began writing when I was 3 years old. My mother started me young to where I could write my alphabet, so I could spell my name even before I went to preschool. And so I have been writing from a very young age. I love to do it. Even now in my personal life, I journal in the morning and I also journal before I go to bed at night. Sometimes I'll journal during the day, but I definitely have a morning and an evening routine where I just pour out what comes to my heart. If there are things that God is speaking to me, I'll take pen to paper and just write creatively. And so this is very therapeutic and very healing for me. And so I encourage you to find what your creative expression may be, whether that is painting, whether that's drawing, whether that is music. And art therapy can really provide an outlet for expressing your emotions, processing your experiences, which leads to improved mental and emotional well-being. And if you're thinking about creativity and how you can express that, and if you need a little bit of inspiration to spark your creativity, I want to invite you to listen to podcast episode 55, where I interview Mary Potter Kenyon, where we discuss her book, Called to Be Creative, a guide to reigniting your creativity. The fourth thing that I did was practice nutritional therapy, because there are certain foods that can help lower cortisol levels by providing those nutrients and that support to the body's stress response. It's going to help improve your overall health. And I certainly found this to be true. And so I incorporated more leafy greens like spinach and kale, which are rich in magnesium, which help to regulate cortisol levels as well as promote relaxation. I incorporated more nuts and seeds like almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, which are great sources of healthy fats, fiber, as well as magnesium that can also help to reduce cortisol levels. Herbal teas were also another area that I incorporated: chamomile tea, green teas, because these have calming properties, but also lower stress and cortisol levels. And one of the foods that's my favorite that I incorporated more of was dark chocolate. Yes, 80% or more is what I prefer. You can have dark chocolate in moderation because it helps to reduce your cortisol levels because it is so high in antioxidant properties. And so as I incorporated these 4 areas into my life for stress management, from practicing the Sabbath on a regular basis, by setting boundaries and knowing that it was okay to say no, I also sparked my creative ability through writing more and eating those nourishing foods that help to balance my cortisol levels, which help to reduce the stress in my life. So let's wrap it all up. Navigating menopause can be a challenging journey, but understanding the connection between chronic stress and hormone imbalance is a crucial step to finding relief. By embracing a variety of holistic approaches and prioritizing self-care, you can reduce stress, balance hormones, and enhance your well-being. Remember, it's about creating a lifestyle that supports the mind, body, and spirit during this transformative phase of life. I'll leave you with Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. As they continued their travel, Jesus entered a village. A woman by the name of Martha welcomed him and made him feel quite at home. She had a sister, Mary, who sat before the Master, hanging on every word he said. But Martha was pulled away by all she had to do in the kitchen. Later, she stepped in, interrupting them. "Master, don't you care that my sister has abandoned the kitchen to me? Tell her to lend me a hand." The Master said, "Martha, dear Martha, you're fussing far too much and getting yourself worked up over nothing. One thing only is essential, and Mary has chosen it. It's the main course and won't be taken from her." Hey friend, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may want to have more energy and improve their health naturally? Also, I would love it if you could leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It blesses me tremendously to know that this podcast is helping you. Alrighty then, it's time to go make a protein shake and go for a hike. No more days of feeling tired and drained. I'll see you in a few days for another episode. God bless.